Welcome to Concrete Block. I'm your host, Walter. Today, we're diving into the complex world of international relations, specifically focusing on the European Union's foreign policy stance amidst recent global events. We have two key stories to discuss. Firstly, a thought-provoking article by Nacho Sanchez Amor, a Spanish MEP and coordinator on foreign affairs of the Socialists and Democrats group in the European Parliament, highlights concerns over the dynamics between the EU Commission and the Council regarding foreign policy decisions. The piece questions the role of Ursula von der Leyen and the announcement of a security college with unclear mandates, suggesting it might duplicate existing structures like the Political and Security Committee. This development sparks debate on the efficiency and transparency of EU decision-making processes. In another significant interview, EU High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Kaja Kallas, shared insights with Reuters on the bloc's stance towards Russia and the US-Israel conflict in Iran. Kallas emphasized that there is no appetite among EU countries to return to business as usual with Russia, especially considering the unpredictable nature of the current global landscape. She also underscored the importance of diplomatic efforts to keep the Strait of Hormuz open, avoiding military escalation and potential crises in food, fertilizers, and energy supplies. Both stories reflect the intricate and challenging environment the EU is navigating, from internal policy coordination to external geopolitical pressures. It's clear that finding a balance between maintaining alliances, pursuing diplomatic solutions, and addressing internal operational efficiencies will be crucial for the EU's effectiveness on the global stage. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're continuing our discussion on current events, and today we're looking at a developing story in international relations. The European Union's foreign policy chief, Kaja Kallas, has called on the United States and Israel to end their war with Iran. This statement comes as tensions in the region continue to escalate, with multiple countries feeling the impact of the conflict. Kallas emphasized that the EU is consulting with governments in the Middle East to find a way to bring the conflict to a close. She also mentioned that the door is not closed to European participation in efforts to restore freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz, but this would likely be part of a diplomatic solution. The strait is a critical transit point for oil, gas, and other goods, and its blockage by Iran has significant implications for global trade. It's worth noting that European leaders have been hesitant to get involved in the conflict, with many expressing concerns about the unpredictability of the situation. Kallas herself stated that Europe does not fully understand the objectives of the United States and Iran, but has become accustomed to the unpredictability of the current administration. The EU's proposal to replicate a UN-brokered deal that allows for the export of grain and other essential goods through the Black Sea during wartime is an interesting one. This deal has been successful in Ukraine, and Kallas believes it could be a model for finding a solution in the Strait of Hormuz. However, it remains to be seen whether Iran and other neighboring countries will agree to such a proposal. As the situation continues to unfold, it's clear that finding a diplomatic solution will require careful negotiation and cooperation between multiple parties. The EU's efforts to facilitate dialogue and find a peaceful resolution are certainly welcome, but it's uncertain what the outcome will be. Welcome back to the Concrete Block. As we wrap up today's show, we're going to take a closer look at the escalating conflict in the Middle East. Reports are emerging of increased tensions between Iran and its neighbors, with multiple countries coming under attack from Iranian missiles and drones. According to recent developments, Iran has launched a series of strikes against oil facilities and other targets in the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar. The attacks have resulted in several casualties and have raised concerns about a potential global energy crisis. In response to these attacks, Israel has launched its own strikes against Iranian targets, including command centers, missile launch sites, and air defense systems in Tehran. The Israeli military has also targeted Hezbollah militants in Lebanon, leading to reports of significant damage and displacement. The conflict has already resulted in over 300 deaths in Iran and more than 850 deaths in Lebanon, with many more injured or displaced. The international community is calling for restraint and a peaceful resolution to the crisis, but so far, a diplomatic solution seems elusive. As the situation continues to unfold, we'll be keeping a close eye on developments and bringing you updates as more information becomes available. It's essential to remember that this conflict has far-reaching implications, not just for the region, but also for global stability and security. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.